Hello everyone, welcome to my Angular 8 NGRX tutorial. Today is day 3 of NGRX tutorial. So let's start our today's session. See, these are the three states in the store. One is router state, another is auth state, third one is the port state. Auth state I covered in my day 2 tutorial, day 2 NGRX tutorial. Now we'll focus on the courses state. So if you see in the courses state, we have IDs, which is an array, entities, which is an object, and all course loaded, which is false. So IDs and entities, these are means you are getting this entry because we are using NGRX entity framework, NGRX entity concept for storing the courses data. So whenever there will be an array to store, then we usually prefer to use NGRX/entity model approach, because in that case the NGRX entity are provided a lot of method that will manipulate our array without writing much code. Means with a single line of code we can manipulate an array. Like we can remove some courses from that array, we can add some courses in that array, we can edit some courses in the array. So everything will be done just by a single line. So that's why we are using the entity framework here. We can use our old approach of using the normal course array, but in that case if you have to remove some courses from that array, we have to iterate through this array manually and we have to remove. Likewise, similar way like we have to do for the edit and for the create also. But in this case, in the older approach or in the older school approach, we have to write a lot of code to manipulate the array. But in the new approach, which is being introduced in Angular 8 concept, the entity approach, in that we have some function. We have to just call those adapter function to manipulate the array. We'll see what is those adapter function in a moment. So as we are using the entity approach for storing the data for courses, that's why you are seeing the IDs array and entities arrays. And this is the all courses loaded is our predefined property, means our custom defined property. That is what developer has defined. And IDs and entities are coming because we are using the @NGRX/entity approach. So that's why you have to install npm install @NGRX/entity to utilize this functionality, this advantage. First of all, we'll start with the course module.ts file. So here, in the same way, like we have to include store module.forFeature, because the feature module is the slice of the state for which the reducer is responsible for manipulating that state. Here it is courses, so that's why in the store you are seeing the courses slice. Then we have effect module.forFeature. Here we are providing the effect that we have created, and this effect is needed for doing AJAX call, for fetching the data, for editing, for deleting. All this kind of AJAX call is being handled by this effect. We have to import the effect from the corresponding effect file. We have to import the reducer from the corresponding reducer file. Store module is imported from @NGRX/store, and effect module has been imported from the @NGRX/effects. That's it. This is these are the two new entries for this course module. So let's close it. So let's start with the course component.ts file. In course component.ts file, in the ng onInit method, we are calling getCourse function. this get course functions, what it is doing, it is like it is fetching the courses array from the store. So there is a couple of logic we have written. We have a select operator, so we are using the select, so that it means it's a selector that we have created to subscribe to the course entity in the store. So here, or subscribe to the particular entity in the store. So our course loaded, if you see this our course loaded is a false or true. Our course loaded corresponding to this one. Okay. So here we are checking if that flag is false, and if the loading, which is our local variable, is false, then we have to trigger an action for fetching the data from the database. If it is not false, if this flag is true, it means we already have data in the store. We don't have to call the API again and again because we have the updated data in the store. For that we are calling the fetch course function. In fetch course function we are retrieving the data from the store using same selector approach. One selector is big for the beginner course, another selector is for the advanced course, and third selector is for getting the original objects. Okay. So we will focus on how we can fetch the data from the database, the course selected data, the list of courses from the database. So for that we have an action, course.action.ts file. We have created a file, courses.action.ts file. In this courses.action.ts file, we will focus on these two actions, which is being involved in fetching the data from the database and storing that data in the store. The first action is being used for fetching the data from the database using the help of effect, because Ajax call is an effect that should be handled by the effects module or effect approach. And this is the action. This action has a payload. So this action is used for storing the list of courses that we have received from the database into the store, so that user can subscribe to that store to get access to those list of courses. So we are creating in the similar way. We have created the action using the create action method. We have provided the type. So this action does not need any payload. This action is only used for triggering the effect, and in that effect we will call the Ajax call. So if we go to the courses.effects, so if you see, let's go to the top. We are creating create effect, this.action $.pipe of type course actions .load all courses. These course actions we have to import from the action types. If you see, this is the action type in which we have defined all the courses as we have done for the login screen. Okay, in a similar way. So let's close this. So here we are saying this effect is for the load all course. When the load all course will be dispatched, this effect will be triggered, and we have a concat map which receives an argument of action. Here in the concat map we are calling the fetch courses service. Fetch courses is a function which is a get function which is used for fetching the data related to the courses. If you see, let's have a look into the fetch courses function. You'll find in courses service.ts file. The fetch courses is just a get statement, just a get call, and we have provided the API URL. Okay, that's it. Let's close it. So we have to call the Ajax call using the concat map operator. This also we have to import from RxJS/operators. Then we have a map operator. Once we get the data from the database, next is we have to trigger the second action. We have to dispatch this second action to store the data retrieved from the database into the store. So for that we have a map operator. This map operator receives the list of courses in the response, and what we are doing, we are calling the second action, all courses loaded. This is the all courses loaded action. It takes two parameters, two payload. In the parameter, one is courses, which is an array, and is the original course object, which is an object. Because we are using Firebase, so it returns data in the form of object. So if you see in the Firebase database, so we have two courses, and it will return the courses and object. So in that object, it is the key, and these are the values. Again, second one is the key, and these are the values. So this original object also we need for our purposes. If you are not using Firebase, then this original course object is not needed at all. So this action has two parameters. So in the courses effect, in the map operator, what we are doing, we are calling that action, we are dispatching that action with two parameters. One is courses, another is original course object. And this is the action which is being now handled by the reducer. The first action is not being handled by the reducer, because the first action only need to trigger the effect to call the Ajax call using the concat map operator. Second one is for storing the retrieved data into the store. So second one is being handled by the reducer. So in the reducer, let's go to the reducer. In this reducer we have used the entity approach, because courses is an array, and to store the array we will use the entity approach, so that it will be easy to manipulate with the array. In the reducer we have an interface, course state interface, which extend entity state, and this is the course entity state of which type, of course type. Then here we'll define some of your custom state properties. It is not mandatory. If you require, you will define, otherwise you can leave it empty. So I need all courses loaded, boolean flag, so that it will be initially false when we fetch the data from database and it gets stored into the store. Then we will make all course loaded in flag as true. This is for tracking whether we have data in the store or not. An original course object is for storing the object that we return from the Firebase. Okay, so it's an interface, extends entity state. Then we have to create an adapter using the create entity adapter. Create entity adapter of what type? Of course type. Then in this adapter, we can provide the compare function. Like if you want to arrange the courses in a ascending order, then we will write a compare function and we will provide sort comparer here. If you see this compare function, we have defined in the model for the courses that we have created. In the model, if you will go in the course.ts file, if you see, this is the compare function. Here we are arranging the courses, means we have written a sorting function for arranging courses in an ascending order on the basis of sequence number. So here we have defined sort comparer colon that function. If you see, for using the entity approach for storing an entity, the one constraint is the entity should have an ID which is named as ID. So entity should have a property ID which can uniquely distinguish that entity. If the entity has some different property as ID, let's suppose it is, instead of ID it is course ID. So it will be like, let's suppose it is like this, course ID. If that will be the case, then what we have to do in the create entity adapter functions, we have another property called as select ID. In select ID we will provide course dot course ID, like this way. It means if the ID of an entity, if the entity does not have ID property, or it has some other property as an ID that uniquely identify that entity, then we have to define the select ID. But in my case, this course also having the property ID, so that's why the select ID is not needed at all here. Okay, I guess it is clear, right? Then what next? Then we have created the adapter and we have provided the compare sort function for sorting the courses list in a ascending order of sequence number. Then we can, using the adapter function, we can get the initial state. So we can retrieve the initial state by using adapter dot get initial state. And in this initial state we have to define this custom property initial values. So for all cursors loaded it is false, and original cursor object it is undefined. Okay. So if let's suppose if this two property won't be present, then we don't have to define here. Okay, as it is present we have to define the initial property. So we'll get the initial state by using the get initial state. Then comes the reducer. So we'll create the reducer in a similar way using the create reducer function. We'll provide the initial state. Then we have on operator. This create reducer and on has to be imported from ngrx/store, an entity state, and create entity adapter. These are all imported from ngrx/entity. That's why we have to install ngrx/entity. And in create reducer we have on operator, in which we provide the action, for which action and for what state it should return. If it is all courses loaded action, then what we are doing, we have a function state action, then we are calling adapter dot add all, and we are providing the action dot course. So these courses it is the payload for the action, this one, all courses loaded action, and this payload we are providing in the course effect. You see, this is the course, we are providing the courses payload. So we are updating action.courses. Then we are updating the state also, and state should be updated immutability. That's why we are using this operator, spread operator. Then as adapter.add all, what it will do, it will store the courses in the store. And it will store all the courses in the store. Okay. Then as the courses get stored in the store, that's why we are making all courses loaded flag to true. It means now we have courses in the store. On the basis of this flag, we'll decide whether we have to call the API or not for retrieving the courses. Then we are storing the original course object also. We are updating the original course object also, because this action has two payloads. One course set, another the original course object. And this original course object needed because we are using the Firebase to manipulate with those data. Okay. So the advantage of using the adapter is it has a function for creating the initial state by using the adapter.getInitialState function, and for storing in the store we can directly use adapter.addAll function. If you would have the older approach, then we have to store these courses manually. Means we have to define, if we have used the older approach, then we have to define here another property courses, and in the return statement we have to return state along with the courses colon action.courses. That way we can also do. But adapter method, adapter approach, which is being available in Entity Framework, it's make our steps easier, much easier. Okay. So once the data gets stored in the store, so as we are using the entity approach, so the data gets stored in the store in the form of IDs. So if you see the courses state, this is having the ID. Okay, because we are in login, so let me log in again. Okay. So if you see, this courses having an ID. Okay, ID in which it will store the ID of the course. Then we have entity, which is an object. In this, the data is being stored as ID colon, ID is the property colon, then that courses object. It will store in this way. So IDs and entities are the property that we have. If you see, the IDs and entity we have not defined in the initial state, but still it is coming because we are using the entity approach. We have defined only two properties, all courses loaded and original courses object. And if you see, we are getting all courses loaded as well as original courses object. But we are getting IDs and entities also. These are coming because we are using the Entity Framework approach. The original course object, it is an object in which this is the key, and for this key the value will be the course details. Again key, then course detail. In the Firebase, everything is a key, then course detail, key, course details. Okay. If you are not using the Firebase, then you don't need this original course object. Once the data gets stored in the store, then the next thing is we have to fetch the data from the store. Okay. How we can fetch the data from the store? For fetching the data from the store, we have to use the selector operator. So we have created a file, courses.selector.ts file, in which we have to create feature selector, in which we provide the state and the slice of the course that we want to retrieve. Then once it is done, then we have to create selector. Create selector, in which we have provided this, we are changing this select course state. Then there is from courses.select all. From courses is coming from the reducer. If you see, we are using the entity framework, that's why we are being available with adapter concept. So in adapter, there is another method called adapter.getSelector. GetSelector will select everything within that slice of state. So as we are using the entity framework, So that's why we have to use get selector. It will select ID as well as entities, because the courses are being stored using the IDs and entities, and we need both IDs and entities. So this is only available if we will call get selector function, and it will return an object having a property select all, and we have exporting this select all property, and this select all we are accessing here by using from. We are importing everything from the reducer which is in this from courses. Then we are using from courses.select all. So what it will do, this selector will return the courses array. Now we are providing this selector again for the next selector in the next get selector function. Here we are getting the courses array, and we are filtering for the beginner courses, likewise for advanced courses. And for, if you see, for the courses state we have two custom defined properties, all courses loaded and original courses object. We can get access to the all courses loaded by using, we have to provide this feature selector. This will give the courses state. Then we have to write state.all courses loaded. Similarly for original courses object. And for entities we have another level of selector. Okay, this is the difference. For our custom selectors, custom properties, we have to utilize only the feature selector. Then we have to retrieve the corresponding state. But for the entity, we have to implement another selector before retrieving the data. Okay. Now we are having the selectors. Let's see how we can subscribe to the selector. So we need the data in courses component.ts file. When that screen is get loaded, the get courses function is being called. In the get courses function, what we are doing, we have created an instance of store, private store, store. Then we are providing the global state. .py then select operator for subscribing to the selectors. We are subscribing to the R courses loaded. Okay, if we go to the courses selector, this is the R courses loaded. This return true or false. If the data is present in the store, it is true. If it is not present, it is false. By using this flag, we can control whether we will need to fetch the data from the database or not. If we have already the data in the store, why should we fetch the data from the database? So likewise, we can avoid the repeated call of API on the basis of this boolean property of the state. So this is the flag we will get. It is saying if flag is false, then only dispatch the action, the load course all action. This is the load all action, which is used for fetching the data from the database. If this flag is true, means we have data in the store. So you don't need to fetch the API. You don't need to call the API. We can directly subscribe to the store by using the fetch courses function. In the fetch courses function, we have written subscription method, like subscription to the select beginner course. This is the selector, select beginner course. It will give the list of courses having category as beginner. Then advanced, select advanced courses. It will give the list of courses having category as advanced. You'll see we have select beginner courses. We will get the beginner courses, and we are assigning it to a beginner courses array. Similarly for the advanced, and similarly for the original course object. So this bunch of code means we are subscribing to the R courses loaded. If that flag is false, we have to trigger the action for fetching the data from the database using the AJAX call. If it is true, then we can directly subscribe to the store. No need to call the API again. And if you see courses component.html file, here we have another component, app course card list. This is for displaying each courses in the form of a card, in which we are providing the data, beginner courses data for the beginner tab and advanced courses data for the advanced tab. Okay, along with we are providing the original courses object also, so that it will manipulate with the data. This is how we can fetch the data from the database using the entity methods. So to summarize one more time, first of all, what we have to do, means now we are concentrating on fetching the data. First of all, we have to define two actions. One action for AJAX call, second action is for storing the data in the store after the AJAX call. And the action which is used for triggering the AJAX call, it should not have a payload. And this action is being handled by the effect. And in that effect, we'll call the AJAX call using the concat map operator. And after AJAX call, we have a map operator in which we'll trigger the second action with the payload that we received. Payload is the course object or the data that we received from the database. Then that second action is being received by the reducer, and in the reducer, as we are using the entity method for handling the array of objects, for handling the array. So here we are defining an interface which extends entity state. Then we have to create an adapter, create entity adapter, in which if you want to define the sort comparer or select ID, we will define there. Then using the adapter method, we can get the initial state by using adapt.get initial state, in which also if you can in that you can also define your custom made state value, initialized value. Then we'll create the reducer by using the create reducer method. The create reducer methods, we have to use adapter.addAll function for storing that list of courses in the store. Then we have the selector. Using the selector, we are subscribing to the courses data in the courses component.ts file, and we are restricting the number of calls on the basis of our custom property that we are defined in the courses reducer state. If that custom property is false, then we have to trigger the action for AJAX call. If it is true, it means we have data in the store, then we will directly subscribe to the store. Okay. So in this way, like, we learn how we can subscribe the data from store. Then let's see how we can add a new course to the store. Okay. If you see, there are two actions. Okay, one action, load all courses, which is the action for AJAX call. Second action, which has a payload also, which is for manipulating for storing these courses in the store. This is how we will deal with fetching the get request. Now we'll see how we can add a course in the application. The post request. So in this tutorial, we'll see all the code applies. We have seen the get request. Now we'll see the post request. How we can add the courses. How we can add a course in this list. So if you see, first of all, I need an URL for the course. I will find some URL. AI images. Let's copy the image address. Let's create a new course. I will give the title as AI beginner course. Image URL that we have copied. So let me copy again. Okay. Then the course ID that I will give 10. Select ID beginner. Sequence number I will give 100. Let's save it. Just keep an eye on the action as well as in the state. So before saving, if you see, so there are only 2 courses. Okay, so let's save it. On click of save, one action is triggered. Course created action, which has been triggered from the edit course dialog. This action, you will see, as a type as well as the course as payload. This payload is needed so that we can update the courses array with this new course. We can push this new course into the array of courses. That's where this payload is needed. If we'll go to the state, we'll find now the courses ID has contained 3 elements, 3 entries. So there are 3 courses. Okay. And if you go to the difference tab, you will see the difference which is being made. Okay. So difference is one new course, 10 course having ID 10 is being added. That is the difference. Okay. And you can see the course. If you will scroll down, you can see the AI beginner course. Even in the Firebase, if you see, you will find 3 courses. This is the third one. AI beginner course. So it means we are dispatching only one action. This action is used for inserting the data in the database as well as updating the store. For inserting the data in the database, for the post request, we need an effect, and for updating the store, we need a producer for this action. So as this action is used for updating the store, we need to insert a new course in the store. So that's why we need a payload. That's why with this action we are sending the payload in the course that user has entered. This is the action we have created, courses created action. If you see, it is being triggered from edit course direct, and the purpose is course created. Okay, and it need a payload which is of type course. Course payload which is of type course. Then go to the effect. So if you see, the name of the course is course created. Okay. So go to the effect. In the effect, you will see of type course created. Then as we need Ajax call, we have to use concat map. It will receive the action, and here we are calling the add course method of HTTP service, and we are providing the course object. If we will go to the same service course.service.ts file, we can see the add course method. See the add course method, it needs only one parameter course. It's a post request, and we are providing that course as a payload for the post request. Okay, so in the effect, using the concat map operator, we are calling that HTTP call, and we are providing the course. As in this effect, we don't need to call another action. No need of calling second action. That's why we have to provide dispatch as false as an object, so that we won't get trapped into the infinite loop. So in the load course, if you see here, we are not providing dispatch as false because we are triggering another action using the map operator. So here no need of providing dispatch as false, but in the create course we don't need the second action. One action is sufficient. That's why we have to provide dispatch as false. Then comes to the reducer. The reducer will go to the on statement. It is the course created. In the course created, then we will take use of add one method which is being available in the adapter. This is why we are using the entity approach, so that we can manipulate the array of courses just by calling a single function. And add one, what it will take? It will take the entity that is need to be added along with the state, the new state. So what it will do? It will add this course into the store, into the array of courses. Okay. This is the, like, once our store get updated, we will get the updated records in our UI because we are subscribing to the store, right? Then comes edit functionality. In the edit, if I will see, so before edit, let's see the delete function. Let's delete it. As soon as I delete this action, course deleted is being triggered. This deleted action takes one payload, takes a payload in which we are providing the course ID, the ID of the courses that is to be deleted. Why this ID is needed? So that we can remove that course from the store. If we go to the state, if we see, now the ID contains only two records. The courses having ID as 10 is removed. The difference you will find. So here difference is this 10 is removed. Okay. So now the courses contain only two ID. And if you go to the Firebase, you will see the, why it is not removed, might be some wrong, some error might have happened. don't know, man, why it is happening. Okay. Although it deleted from the store, but in the Firebase it is not yet deleted. There might be some reasons for that. So let's debug. So we are getting undefined JSON. That's why it is not deleted. Somewhere we mess up with delete functionality. So in delete functionality, we are calling the delete functionality in the course card list. On delete course. So here it is not finding this course object. So this is the post node ID is undefined. It is saying. Okay. So we will look into that later. So that's a different story. So I will debug. Why it is undefined? Because its post node ID is not it could not able to figure out the post node ID. So that's a different story. We'll see that later without wasting time. So let's go to the Redux. So if you see, on click of delete button, this post deleted action is being triggered. And this post deleted action, first of all, it will call the Ajax call. It calling the Ajax call in the effect method using the concat map. And we are here delete course, right? So first of all, we need to call an Ajax method. So before that, let's see the action. This is the post deleted action. This is the type of the action, and here is the payload for that action. It takes two payload, one post ID, the ID of the course that is being deleted, and post node ID, from which node we have to remove. As we are using Firebase, that's why we need this node. Otherwise, it is not needed at all. Okay, and this action is being cast by the effect, the delete course effect, in which using the concat map we are calling the delete course method of the service for deleting the record, and we are providing that node ID for deleting. So here we are calling the Ajax call, and we don't need to trigger the second action. That's why we are providing dispatch as false. Then it will go to the reducer. In the reducer, if you see, we are using the remove one method of adapter. This is the advantage of using the adapter. We remove the course from the list of course just by using a single function, remove one. Remove one takes the ID and the state. This ID we are providing with the action and the state. So for adding everything, to add to the entities, we have using the add all method of adapter. For updating the entity, we have, if we have to update one, then we have update one. If you have to update many, we have update many. If you have to update all, we have update all. And if you have to add one, this is add all, this is add one. Okay. Then for remove, we need the ID, remove one. If we have removed many, then we need the array of ID. Okay. So in this way, it will remove the record from the store. That's why once it gets removed from the store, then we are getting the updated records, updated course, because we are subscribed to the course slice in this state. Okay. Then we'll see the edit method. Okay. So let's remove it. Let's edit it. If I edit, let's remove the beginner from this, and let's save. As we save, another action is triggered. In this action, if you see the if you go to the action tab, we'll see the type as well as payload. But here the payload is in the form of, first payload is update having ID and changes. ID is the ID of the course that we updated, and changes is the changes is the course that we have updated. Okay, the detail of the course. This update is necessary for editing. Then we have course node ID as well as course payload. Okay, let's go to the action. This action, we have course created. In course created, we have a type as well as, no, sorry, it is not, it is incorrect action. So this is the action, course updated. It has a type as well as prof, in which we have a update prof of type update. This update we are getting from @ngrx/entity, and this is necessary for edit case. An update of which type? Of course type, of course entity. Of which entity? Course entity. Then other payload that you want to provide. An update is necessary for editing using the adapter concept. Okay, this again handled by the effect. In the effect, you will see the save course effect, course updated of type. The concat-nav, we are calling the edit course HTTP call, and we are providing display as false because we don't have to trigger the second action. Then it will go to the reducer. In the reducer, if you see course updated, in which we are using adapter.update1. This update1 takes the update object, and update object contains, so update object contains two parameters, one ID, as we are seeing, contains ID as well as changes. Okay, so for update 1 we need this update object, and we are providing the state. And where we are manipulating this, where we are creating this update object, in the course catalyst component.ts file. If we see, not here, so in the edit course dialog.component.ts file, because here we will use the edit. On save functions, we are getting the updated course. Then we have update variable, which is of type update of entity course. Here we are ID, we are providing the ID of the course, and it changes the new course object. And this update we are passing as a payload to the courses object, courses updated action. Okay, so here we are dispatching the course updated action with the payload. Okay, and if it is in create mode, then we are dispatching course created action. Okay, likewise for delete, for delete we will find here. For delete we are fetching, means we are dispatching which one? We are dispatching the course deleted action with the payload. Okay, the important part to remember is, for updating we need update object. This update object has two property, one ID and other is changes. ID is the ID of the course that we want to update, and changes is the new course. Okay, we'll get access, means how we'll know the syntax of these adapter functions, what kind of parameter they require, how we'll get to know. We will get to know by just what we have to do, we have created an adapter. Just below that write adapter dot, okay, yeah, we will get this many method: remove all, remove many, remove any, selected id, select all, adapter dot select all, get selector, all this, update many, update one, okay. Then you will see get selector method, get initial state method, add one, add many. If you want to get access to the IDs, then we have to use adapter.select ID. Okay. All this method will get access to once we have created the adapter. Okay. And how we will know the syntax for that? So just press Ctrl and click on this. You will get the definition. For add all, we need entities, array of entities, then updated state. For add one, add all is needed when we are fetching the data from the database using the get operator. For add one, while we are creating a record, the post request, it requires one entity and the state. Add many, also an array of entity and the state. Then comes the remove one. If you want to remove an item, like in the delete case, it needs a key. So there are two remove, one having key as string, another is key as number. So we are providing key as number, then state. Then remove many. If you want to remove more than one item, then we have to provide the array of numbers, means array of post ID, array of ID of posts that we want to remove from the store. Then in the remove all, if you want to clear the store, clear that slice completely, then you have to use remove all, and we have to provide only state. Let's come to the update one. The update one, as I told, we need update object of which entity, of post entity, and the state. And in the update many, we need same update array, but in the form of array. Okay, like we'll create more than one update object and we'll push to that array and we'll provide that here. Okay, and each update contains two properties. Let's go to that. If you see, this is the update, where it is, yeah, this update can be update str or update num. If you see update str or update num, anything you can see. In update str, id is a string, and in update num, id is a number, but we are focusing on this one, okay, because in our case id is a number. So it need a id and it changes. There are two property for the update, and in the changes we are providing the t, means entity, the entity that is being modified. Okay. In this way we can see the signature for those adapter functions. On the basis of that, we will provide the parameters to work. I guess NGRX entity concept is clear to everyone. So this way, like we can, using NGRX entity, we can deal with arrays or array of object. If we'll manage this array of object in the older school approach, then we have to write a couple of iterations for removing an item from the array, or for adding an item into the array, or for editing the item in an array. As we are using the entity framework, then we are getting access to the adapter function, and just by calling the adapter function, we can able to manipulate the array just in a single line. This is the awesome advantage of using NGRX entity. So For working with the NGRX entity, we need an action, then effect, then reducer, then selectors for one entity. If there will be multiple entities, if there are more than one entity in our application, then for each entity 4 things are needed: one action, then reducer, then effect, then selectors. So we have to write a lot of codes, and we'll see a better approach for this. The better approach will be using NGRX data approach, where we don't have to create any action, or we don't have to create any reducer, selector. Means out of these 4 things, we don't need to create any one of them. No need at all. So we'll see the NGRX data approach, which is also a new concept introduced in Angular 8, in which all the burden of creating the effect, action, selectors, all these are gone. Just we have to call the appropriate function to make Ajax call as well as manipulate the store. We'll see that in our next tutorial. In next tutorial, we'll see how we can implement NGRX using NGRX/data approach. Thank you guys for watching.